here we go again. I got my fully built out rig and I need to go to the next location. Now I can't fit this back in my Pelican case, so what do? I'm Peter Mokri, a Dallas-based DP and gaffer, and in today's video, we're gonna find a solution for a fully built out camera that we need to transport. Let's get into it. So we've all been in this situation before. We're just gonna stick this right in our front seat. Maybe we'll grab the seat belt and just kind of wedge it in there and hope for the best. And yeah, it shouldn't flop around too much and nothing should hit it. And if something happens, it hopefully won't go through the windshield. But that doesn't always work, right? Let's see if there's something else we can do. Maybe we could stuff some stuff around it, make it a little more cushioned, treat it like a, you know, a deer that we found on the side of the road that we're rescuing. So just kind of cuddle it up. Or it's not gonna work. Maybe, oh, this is it. This means safety. I think I'm going to do this, bring this around here so it's secured, so then if something happens, it catches it. Yeah, I really like that. Honestly, none of this really works. None of this is really safe for the camera. It's gonna go flopping around, and honestly, as crazy as we are with our gear, it could start flopping over. We could go to reach for it and then cause an accident. So let's find a solution. All right, that's not going to work. So we need to find a better solution. In front of me, I have some apple boxes. These are also known as pancakes or eighth apples. It's 2.5 inches of plywood glued together, giving you an apple box. So these are standardized in size, and you may have one laying around, or you could go pick up a piece of wood from your local hardware store or big box store, your lumber supplier, or off the side of the road, a scrap piece of wood can work. So what are we going to do? What we're going to do is we're going to attach a quick release plate to the wood, and you'll see how well it works out. So these are very inexpensive right here. These are a really cheap solution. But one of the drawbacks to it is you have to turn a knob to open it up. So it takes time and you have to tighten it. There are solutions like this, which are quick releases, which are a lot nicer. So all you have to do is you just go like this, click in, and you're fully clicked in. Now, as you can see, we're clicked in, and now we have a stable platform, and this does not want to knock over. So if we take this and put it in our front seat, it should do a lot better. So let's check out how that looks. Now that is a lot more stable. Let's see how it looks if I bring the seatbelt around. I could bring the seatbelt down under the front of the camera, have it locked in. It just wedges up against the base where we have that quick release and kind of pulls back. So that's really nice and secure. But one of the big advantages of this system is the ability to just unclick and take your camera and go. And then when you want to click back in, you just click it back in and it's clicked in. Now you don't have to adjust any tension or anything because it clicks it right into place. Quick release, real simple, real straightforward. Now you don't always have to put this in your front seat. You could put it on the floorboard. I have a console set up here. I could set it right there, have someone sitting down here, and they could be holding on to the camera without issue, and it's nice and stable and ready to go. Also, if someone wants to hold it in their lap, it's not jamming into their lap like normally when you have the camera and you have that base plate just digging in. You can actually hold on to it really well here, and it's nice and secure, which actually opens up an opportunity. Is if you wanted to, you could use this to film with, because it gives you a little more structure. So you could actually shoot out of this, have something underneath here, and be able to get a shot as needed. But let's see how we build this thing out. Let's go ahead and get to designing. All right, so there's some key things to pay attention to when you're setting up and designing this layout. It's really simple, but you want to keep things in mind. So first off, if we look, the camera is longer towards the front versus where the base plate is. So that's something that's really important. So right now, if I quick release, you can see that this is set back a little further. So that gives room for the body to land here. You have your V-mount, and then you have your lens, which this is a longer lens. If we did it the other way around like this, and then we clicked in, you'll see we're quite a bit off, and that we don't have the adjustability to go too far back. Now, depending on how you're set up, you could have some systems where you could slide in and out like a dovetail, giving you a lot of wiggle room. So placing it in the center is fine. But I know that with my FX6 and with my cameras, I'm usually shorter on the back and then I have a longer lens on the front. So I like to have it offset. So that's something that's really important to me. So the differences between these two can be seen. This one is just a drop in and it clicks right in. And this one you have to ratchet this and rotate it to tighten it up. Also, you can't come in from the top. You have to actually slide it in. So that creates a problem having to slide the camera in and get that adjusted. You're fiddling with it versus this, you just drop it in and it's ready to go and it's clicked in. And then to loosen it, you just click that off and you're good and set. Another thing to consider is which side you want this on. Since it is not a sliding motion that's necessary to engage this, you can decide if you want it to be here or if you want it flipped around, and on the other side, you're just going to rotate this 180 degrees. So we know we have an 8th apple here, and then we have this quick release plate. I will link the quick release plate down in the description, also the inexpensive one if you just don't have the budget for this. This one does cost quite a bit more, but I will tell you the time savings and the stress savings are well worth it. I mean, you just doesn't get easier than this, just going in, clicking in, and you're ready to go. And then if you want to release it, you just go quickly, because remember, the whole purpose of this is to be a lot more efficient. And when we're efficient and we're quicker, it saves us time, makes us more money, and saves us money in the end, in the long run. So spending a couple bucks on this is well worth it. And all you have to do is just put holes down in the bottom, add a couple bolts, screws, and you're done. And it's that simple. But I'm going to do some modifications. This was design 1, version 1. I was in a pinch, in a hurry. I just put some holes in this, put it on all crooked, and had it ready to go. But I'm going to design this and improve it to be a version 2.0. One of the important things to remember is you can do this on a budget. I actually found this piece of wood thrown out on the curb. My neighbor was throwing it out, so I picked it up and kept it for myself. It's 3/4 plywood. Whatever you could get your hands on, if there's a scrap piece or something, it doesn't have to look pretty. You could always paint it or stain it, but let's go ahead and clean it up. All right, I got my piece of wood cut. Now, you may notice something between these two. One is taller than the other. Why is that? Well, you're just gonna have to find out. But some things to keep in mind: measure as much as you can. You can make your piece of wood whatever size you want. This is just something that's an industry standard, so it's just a common shape and size. So I kind of based my design off of this to an extent, but I did make it shorter, and I'll show you that shortly. It's good to have a square to make sure stuff is square if you're particular about that. Otherwise, I mean, you could cut it into any which way shape you find. I mean, if you just find something laying on the side of the road that's already a certain shape, you can go with it. So next thing I'm going to do is figure out my placement for my actual quick release. The last one I made was a lot crooked, not just a little crooked. It kind of aggravated it. It really aggravated me a lot. So I'm going to make sure this one is a lot straighter and a lot more square. So I'm taking precautions for that. So right now I'm drilling through 2 pieces of wood, and I'll show you what I used for a second piece of wood. Let's go ahead and take a look at the holes we drilled out. So right here, I have 2 holes drilled out, because on this plate right here, we have 2 holes that I want to mount to. So what's cool about this plate is you could mount from the bottom, or you could mount from the top if you wanted to as well. But then I would have to have something down below to catch onto it. So I'd rather go through the bottom. So I have screws. I'm using 1/4-20, and each of them will get a washer. And then I'm going to push that through. There we go, and you can see it's flush now. And then this one here, it's going in, and it's pretty flush, and it will tighten up a little bit. So I left a little bit of wiggle room for it to get tightened up. And then if we go to this side, you'll see, I'm just place this here, that I made a little bit of a space, because these would stick out too much. So what I did is I made a little plate, and what that plate gives me the ability to do is it gives me the ability to actually have this elevated just slightly, so then I have a little more clearance depending on the rig that I have built out. So here it is mounted on version 2. Let me know what you think of this setup so far and what your solutions are when you have to maybe fully rig out your camera so when you get on location you're ready to shoot, or if you're jumping between locations and you have to put a fully built out camera in the car. I know some people like to do a coffin, some people will just set it in the front seat, put on the seatbelt and hope for the best. I want to know what your solutions are down below, and maybe you'll give me an idea that I can improve on my design. So this one here, you can tell it's a little bit shorter. I'll go into details on why, but let's go ahead and take a look at what else is different. So we have a little bit of a height difference, which I went with 3/4 plywood versus going with 2 1/2-inch pieces, giving us 1 inch, but I did raise the base plate. This does function just fine right here, and there's room for it to actuate and do its motions because it's designed real well. If you went with a cheaper design like this one here, and it has the rotating knob, it can get caught if you don't have enough clearance, and you can see here it just hits. Yes, it's ratcheting, but you don't want to sit there, try to put your camera in, ratchet it and fight it. So you could always elevate it if you want to save money and go with the cheaper route, and you'll be able to still do that. But for me, I prefer the nice and easy motion of just clicking it in and it's ready to go and it's connected. Now that's quick, and you can always press down a little bit more and crank it down where it's nice and strong and in there really good. So that's nice, real easy, real simple. So why did I make this shorter? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward, because I want it to fit inside of a milk crate. So this fits right inside of a milk crate. It's nice and snug. That means the camera is not going to just fall over easily. It's nice and sturdy, and gives me the ability to have handles on the front and the sides and be able to carry it in. And if I'm putting this on a cart, it makes it a lot easier as well. And this can work in the front seat as well. And you still have room to stick some padded cases in here if you wanted to transport it like that, or stick foam in and make it a lot more secure. But let's go ahead and check out how this rig looks in the front seat. Now that fits snug. I like that. It's nice and sturdy. It's not tipping over. You know what it is missing? It's missing you subscribing to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. I'd really appreciate it. Let's check out this seatbelt. So now we have handles running through the crate, and then we could run the actual seatbelt through those handles, which is nice, giving us a mounting point that's not the camera itself. Click this in. There we go. And now it's on the top handle. Your camera may have a different setup, so your mileage may vary. So, you know, do what you need to, but this is clicked in now, and now that's not going anywhere. So now it's nice and secure. So if you go off-road, if you take a quick turn, this thing isn't going to fly around. So it's nice and secure. And what makes it real great is you still have the quick release functionality in here. You could just pop it out as needed. Oh, I switched sides on it. There it is. Pop it out, pop it back in. It's ready to go. And if I want to set it right here, it's nice and set up. Now, you may build yours differently. You may have different needs. Your camera may be longer, smaller, but the basics are there. Find yourself a piece of wood, get a quick release plate, attach it to it, and you're off to the races. And then you could modify it as much as you want. I know some people would hate the way this looks. They'll paint it, they'll stain it, or they'll cover it with their favorite stickers to support their fellow creators. And that's also a choice you can do. Speaking of support, I appreciate every single one of you that supports the channel, that continues to come back, that likes, subscribes, comments, does everything. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, YouTube says, click this stuff here and here, or else. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.